Bam! What's going on, y'all? Joseph Morrison, aka Kojo Locs, coming at you for another video. You know this is already. It's a Loc channel. We discuss Loc content, and in this video today, though, I'm gonna discuss some Loc content. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe. Hit the like button, share this video with a friend if they are interested in getting Locs, if they've just started a Loc journey and they kind of want to see a little bit down the road, see what's ahead. So I kind of use my journey as a way to show y'all just, you know, what I'm going through. And hopefully it helps, hopefully it's insightful, and if anything, at least you enjoy your time watching your boy, right? Okay. So in this video, I mean, you already saw the thumbnail, you know what we're talking about. It's funny because it doesn't, I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like a huge deal, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little later, but it's my 2-year Loc anniversary. It's my You guys, honestly, I didn't think you'd do it. Thank you. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words, seriously. Hey, you! I didn't think you'd show up, but you're here. You're here for me. That's nice. That's, wow. Thank you. Seriously, I really appreciate it. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy, you guys. Wow. This is wild. Thanks, guys. Okay, let's chill out. Let's chill out. Sorry, that's, if you're new to the channel, anytime I have a Loc update, they cheer for me. It's a thing. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so yes, it is my 2-year Loc anniversary, and we're gonna discuss we're good. Just let's get through the video first. We can party after, it's all good. We're gonna discuss my 2-year Loc anniversary. So in that, I'm basically just gonna give you my insights, my thoughts, what I've been going through in that process. And the way that I'm gonna illustrate that for you is by first showing you the Locs, giving you a visual of my Locs and what they look like, things that I've been noticing, things that have been happening in my Locs, to kind of give you a little perspective from that standpoint. We're definitely gonna look into my washing routine, my day-to-day routines, so just kind of things that are happening throughout the day that are kind of notable or maybe insightful for you. And we're also gonna be looking at my oiling routine, which is a part of my daytime routine, or my daily routine. So just kind of looking at my day-to-day, right? Like how I wash my hair, how I oil my hair, what things I'm going through, what things I'm noticing at this stage, and things of that nature. And then we'll kind of follow that up with just, you know, post update discussion on, you know, mental and emotional things that go on at this point in the journey for me, and kind of things that I've been dealing with in that regard. Because, you know, having Locs, it's not just a journey on your head, like it's a part of your lifestyle, it's a part of your life. Your Locs are a part of your day, it's a part of who you are, and you know, in that comes some emotional and mental things that coincide with that. So I'm just gonna touch on those a little bit towards the end of the video, and that'll pretty much be it, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real simple. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet, so we'll jump right into it. Let's take a 360 look at these Locs. All right, let's, for those that don't know, we're gonna go over to the wall just to get a better view. You know, it's a thing. Let's go, come on, let's go. Whoa. I know COVID's like kinda done, but like, you know, give me 6 feet. Just give me a little bit of room, thank you, appreciate that. All right, here we are. Here's the Locs. You're probably wondering why they look a little on the curly side. So I did have my Locs kind of done a little recently. Check out my last video and you'll see the work that I did on my Locs. But I did have them in a barrel twist, and I just took them out this morning actually so I could make this video. You're welcome. So because of that, you know, they look a little curly or whatnot, but it's all good. It's all good. Your boy's got a little curly style to it. It'd be cool. So I'll give you the full 360. So this is where my Locs are at. If we're just looking at the length, if we're looking at how locked the Locs are, all of those things, you can kind of get a, you know, a decent visual of that right now as far as the length goes. Let's do a little length check. Let's see where we're at. So we're just, if I'm to pull it to kind of make it nice and straight, we're just pretty much at the bottom of the ear. So usually when I do my length check, I'll use this guy. So let's see. Yeah, we are well past the eye there, well past the eye. So yeah, that's pretty much the length. So definitely getting longer since my last Loc update video. And just to kind of get a visual of my last Loc update video, this is how long my hair was then. Let me hold the position so it looks, so you could, wait, how do I do it, like this? No, I do it like this, wait. I'm gonna do it, wait. Can you see the difference in the length? No, not really, a little bit? How's that? Yeah? Anyway, it's gotten longer. I'd say since my last updated video, probably got about 2-3 inches of length, maybe not that much, but you know, you can see it for yourself. So as far as the actual hair itself goes, it's definitely continuing to lock up even further. One thing I find is when you feel like you're like, yeah, I'm locked, you're not. I would say I'm in that teenage lock stage, as my loctician likes to call it. So, you know, there's kind of that preliminary early lock stage where it's starting to lock. That teenage stage is usually like your locks are pretty matured, but there's still some things that are still locking up. So in my case, the tips of my hair, and then there's obviously fully matured where you're like a full on like Rastafarian, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm kidding. But as far as my tips, which has notoriously, for those that know, been my Achilles heel, I guess you can say, with my lock journey. And if you look, there's still a lot of those tips that are not done yet. And I know that can be a little discouraging. I'll be honest, like it's probably the one thing that when I was at like the 1.5 year mark, I was kind of frustrated with it because I'm like, yo, like I've had my locks for over a year now and like my tips are still not locking up, you know, a little annoying. One of the big reasons for that, for my sake, is my hair texture. Now, hair texture plays a huge role into how quickly your hair is going to lock up. It just does. So the more coily and curly your hair texture is, the more susceptible it is to locking up quicker. The more straight your hair texture is, it takes a little bit longer to lock up. So a 1 being like the straightest hair type, right, very straight, and a 4C being the curliest hair type. So my hair texture varies. It's usually not just one texture all the way through your head. So for me, around the sides is a little bit of a more coily texture, so like a 4A-ish, 4B hair texture. In the middle and kind of towards the back, it's a little bit straighter. It's almost like a 2C, like maybe even like a 3 hair texture, and hence why the tips of my hair are just taking a little bit longer to lock up. And I'll touch on a little bit of that as we go into the mental and emotional side of things, because boy, oh boy, your boy's been tested. But that's pretty much it, y'all. Like, this is where we're at. This is where the locks are at. This is the length. We're definitely got some hang time. I know y'all love to see that little swing. I've been there for a while now, but this is it. This is it, y'all. This is where we're at. This is how the locks are looking. Definitely locked up, feeling good. Feels pretty fresh. I'm doing a lot of lock styles now, which is nice because I have enough length to do so. But just, yeah, this is it, y'all. This is the locks. All right. Cool? We're good? I know my hair's crazy right now. My hair's crazy. But I had to take it out for y'all. I wanted you guys to see it. So yeah, let's discuss the other stuff now. Let's jump into a little bit more of that fun stuff, all right? Come on, let's go. Let's go back. All right, so now we kind of took a look at the locks. We kind of know what my length is looking like and seeing the contrast of my length and lockedness since my, I think it was my 18th lock update video, which was my last lock update video that I posted. This is where we're at, and with that comes a lot of different things like my washing routine. So as far as washing my hair goes, you know, I think the last update I was doing it like every 2 weeks. Now I'm a little bit more, or I should say a little bit less, inclined to like track that, to be honest. At this stage in the game, just over 2 years locked, I'm not really paying attention to it in that regard. I really just go in and wash it if it needs to be washed, which typically ends up being like 3 to 4 weeks. I would say 3 weeks, closer to 3 weeks. Yeah, so pretty much I'll get my wife or myself, I'll look into my locks, look into my hair, and if I feel like there's some buildup in there, or if my wife sees some buildup when she oils my hair, which she does for me from time to time, then I'll go and I'll wash my hair. Or sometimes at this stage I'll say too, you just have a better understanding of how your hair feels even. Like I can just feel it, or even without touching it, it just feels, even when I shake my hair, or little things like that, where it just feels brittle, or it feels like it just needs to get a good cleansing, a good washing. So I'll go in and wash my hair, typically about every 3 weeks. And how I wash my hair is as follows. I use 2 shampoos, and it's the same shampoos I've been using throughout my lock journey. So the 2 shampoos that I currently use is number 1, my Design Essentials Oat Protein and Henna. I love this one. It's very, very clean. Both shampoos are really designed just for locks. And I love them. They're very great. They smell great. They have good properties in them that are very healthy. And the second one that I use is called the Locked shampoo. It is by the House of Isis, and their their shampoo is also very similar. Very organic, very great properties inside, and really just healthy things that are going to help to not only sustain the natural texture of your hair, not only help to fortify your locks, and the roots and shaft of your locks, but it's gonna help to really cleanse your scalp and make sure that it has a good foundation for your locks to grow out of, right? Not only that, it's gonna help to maintain and retain the moisture in your scalp and locks as well, in a healthy way, so that your locks are good to go going forward. So these are the shampoos that I use, and how I do it is I'll start with my Design Essentials Whole Protein and Henna. I'll do 2 to 3 scrubs, so I'll kind of scrub through my locks, making sure I'm getting into my parted sections, so I go all the way through my parted sections. So usually, I'll break it down for you fully. First wash, go in, lather up everything, rinse it out. Second wash, I really get into my parted sections, making sure they're super clean, get all the way through. I'll kind of go through it like a checkerboard pattern all the way through my locks, rinse that out. Third one, I'll go in and really make sure that I'm coating my locks. So I'm kind of getting my locks, squishing it together, getting all that shampoo to really go in and out of the locks as well, and really scrubbing through, getting out all that dirt. And then I'll rinse that out. And then I'll go in with my lock shampoo. I'll put that in my hair, you know, really lather it up and kind of soak it in, let it sit there. I'll then go ahead and shower and wash my body and all that kind of stuff while it sits in my hair. So I kind of use the lock shampoo kind of like a conditioner a little bit. And then once I'm done showering, I'll fully rinse my body off. Now that being said, when I start my wash, I use warm to hot water, as hot as you can manage it. That's gonna help to open up your pores, to really help to get a lot of that nutrients into the scalp and to help to get a lot of the bad stuff out of the scalp. But then when I'm rinsing out my final wash, I use cold water, so as cold as I can. That's gonna help to close up your pores, which will help to seal in that moisture, seal in those healthy properties that you've just applied with your lock shampoo. So that is how I get it done with my shampooing. That's pretty much my routine, y'all. I go in when I need to, about every 3 weeks, use these 2 shampoos, and we're good to go. That being said, we have to oil our locks. Oiling our locks is very important, right? Kind of the same answer, to be honest, as my shampooing. Like, I don't really have a regimented formula now for when I oil my hair. I just kind of do it based on a few things. A, of course, how my locks are feeling, how my scalp feels. If it feels dry, if my locks are feeling a little brittleish and dry, then I'll go in and do an oiling. I also base it off of time of year. So I live here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and we have some weird weather. We go from cold to very hot. So usually in the warmer climates, I find that I don't need to oil my locks and my scalp as much because I'm sweating a lot. My body's producing a lot more of that natural sebum, of the natural oil that my scalp is gonna produce. In the winter time, it's a little bit colder, right? Things get a little bit more brittle, so you wanna make sure that your hair is moisturized and oiled more often. That being said, I would say on average, I'm oiling my hair and scalp maybe twice a week. Keyword there is maybe. Sometimes it's once a week. It's definitely at least once a week. Just put that out there. And that's just for me, right? Everyone's different. Maybe some people are a little bit more oily or produce a little bit more natural oils or less natural oils. And a lot of that goes into, you know, how you eat and how you take care of yourself. And that's a video for another day. I've actually made videos about nutrition and stuff like that, so go check that out on my channel. But as far as the oils that I use and how I oil my locks, it's real simple. So I'll give you a glimpse of the oils that I do use on my locks, and they are tea tree oil, peppermint oil, and lavender. I also use rosemary oil. And all 4 oils have great healthy properties that involve cleansing, that involves nourishing the locks, that involves helping with itching, that involves mitigating dryness. It's gonna help to reduce buildup. All kinds of different things. It's gonna help to deliver fresh blood to the roots of the locks. So it's gonna help to help those locks to grow. And a variety of other things. If you want to know a little bit more about these oils specifically, definitely go check out my video where I discuss the best oils for your locks. But I use these oils, and the oils that I seal them in is jojoba oil. So pretty much I have my little tincture bottle. I'll pour those oils in, about 10 drops each, and I'll use the jojoba oil and fill that bottle up about halfway, and that's kind of my oil concoction. And as far as how I oil my locks, I go into my scalp. I usually do 2 to 3 drops per row of my parted sections. Then I'll go in, I'll just kind of scrub through very gently, making sure that those oils are getting into my scalp. And then following that, I'll just kind of rub the rest through my locks, through my fingertips, just so that my locks can also get that good, healthy oil. And yeah, it's gonna help to moisturize your locks. It's gonna feel really nice. Your hair's gonna feel nice and soft. And you just know you're doing something good for your hair, right? So very important that we are washing and oiling our locks on a regular basis. That's what's gonna help to keep your locks healthy. That's what's gonna help to keep your locks growing. And yeah, just help to minimize that discomfort because there is still some itching. Like the itching thing is real, y'all. So, gotta keep up with your oils. Try to stay away from eating sugary foods. Video for another day. But that's how I go in and oil my locks, all right? Pretty much as far as like daytime routine type stuff goes, nothing really crazy to report there. The main thing to keep note of is that I'm very cognizant of hair protection. That's the main thing you're gonna have to think about throughout your day-to-day. So around the house, I always make sure I have my do-rag or my bonnet on my hair, just because, so I don't have to think about it, right? If I wanna play with the kids or if I wanna take a nap, I don't wanna have to be like, oh, like, should I sleep like this with my head like up on some, you know what I mean? So I just throw on my do-rag, throw on my bonnet so I don't have to think about that when I get home. I don't do that every single day. Some days I'll come home and just be home. But definitely when I'm going to sleep at night, I always, to this day, make sure that I wrap my hair in my bonnet or my do-rag. That's going to protect your hair from lint buildup, any other kind of buildup to be honest. And it's going to also help your locking process, right? The more you can kind of allow the locks to stay together, lock up, especially for starter lockers, is really going to help that locking process in the beginning because you don't want to have too much disruption. When you get to my stage, to be honest, there's kind of two trains of thought. There's people who still religiously wrap their hair up like myself, and there's people who don't, because there is that notion that the friction of you rolling around on your pillow is going to help your locks to actually continue to lock up, and there is some truth to that. So, you know, if there is a day, and there's been maybe a couple days that like I'm just like, I'm too tired, I'm not wrapping my hair up, it's all good, right? But the main thing that I am very, very conscious of is hair protection. So I make sure I have my do-rag and my bonnet, and make sure that those are made of silk material. So you don't want cotton. It's gonna be too harsh of a material if you're gonna be protecting your locks. You're actually gonna be wrapping your hair in a damaging property. So make sure it's silk or satin material. It's going to be very, very helpful for your locks. It's going to help to maintain the oils and nutrients and moisture that you have in your hair and scalp. So that's pretty much the main thing you want to think about. And of course, in terms of your day-to-day, if you're going out in winter or colder climates, you want to have some kind of hair protection. Ideally something that is going to have like a silk base to it, so it can kind of not, just to protect the locks a little bit further and make sure that you're not getting extra lint in your scalp, because a lot of times, or in your hair rather, because yes, a lot of times our toques are made out of cotton because it's a warm material, of course, and sometimes that can have a lot of lint buildup in it as well. So if you are going to be wearing cotton hats out in the wintertime or in colder climates, just take a look inside the hat before you put it on and just kind of pick out any extra lint that's in there before you put it on your locks. Trust me, when you get lint in your locks, it's a nuisance. Like sometimes you have to like literally dig into the lock to pull out the piece of lint, and that kind of ruins your locking process. So lint is not your friend. So anything you can do to mitigate that from getting stuck in your locks, you're gonna thank yourself down the road, all right? Last but not least, we're just talking about the emotional and mental things that go into this locking journey. And at this point, 2 years locked, some of the pros or some of the good things or good sides to that is I find that I don't think about the process as much as I used to. I don't, you know, I'm somebody that's very, things have to kind of be a certain way. I like things to be like, this is how I do it, this is my process, this is when I do this thing, this is the date and time that I do that. And I found that that can just be stressful, to be honest. Now in the beginning, you do have to have, it's helpful rather to have some kind of routine just so that you can kind of maintain your process. But as you get further down the road, you don't have to be so super on top of things. And a big part of that is because you are more familiar with how your hair works, you're familiar with what it needs and when it needs it, and you just kind of get into a natural routine that doesn't feel so scheduled. You just kind of naturally do the things that you do. So that's one thing that's been really helpful in terms of just not stressing so much about little details and things like that. If you are someone like me who are having issues, and I say issues because that's how I'm perceiving it, as an issue. But my hair is like, me not locking up at the tips isn't an issue, this is just my process. But if you are like me and you're at the year mark and you're not locked up at the tips and you feel like it's an issue, I would say one thing that I did that I wouldn't say I wish I didn't do, but I'd probably do a little different on my next locking journey, let's say, is I used to crochet hook the tips of my hair quite often. I'd say like once every 2 weeks. And it would be locked up, but then as I would wash my hair, the tips would kind of unlock again. I think what I should do next time, what I would recommend to you all out there, is just leave your hair alone. I know you're gonna wanna go in there with a crochet hook. I know, it's tempting. You crochet hook it up and you touch it and it's all locked up and you're like, yeah! You know, I totally get it. But honestly, I do think that I have disrupted my locking process a little bit in the process. And I think if I had just like left my hair alone completely, I might be a little bit more locked up. Now that being said, last time I crochet hooked the tip of my hair would have been probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. So I haven't done it in a long time and my hair is locking up. So if you're somebody that does have a looser hair texture like mine at the tips, your hair will lock up, trust me, okay? So that's one thing I would say, is just not worrying about your locking process too much. And at this stage, I just don't worry about what my hair is doing or where it's going. I just let it do its thing. I'm oiling, moisturizing, and washing on a regular basis, put my do-rag on. That's all I gotta think about. I don't have to think about when it's gonna lock up, how much longer is it gonna take. You know, I'm no longer bombarding my loctician with questions of what can I do to speed things up. Just be as patient as you can and just focus on life, focus on your goals and things you're doing in your family. Don't worry about the locking process. It's gonna happen, trust me, right? So those are the things that I've kind of gotten over and I've kind of put to the wayside, and that's helped me to really enjoy my locking journey even more, right? Because I'm not worrying about things that I essentially can't control. So that's one thing I would say as well at this stage, is I'm just less worried about anything that I can't control, as I said. Another thing I would say too at this stage is regarding lock growth. Now, my loctician made me privy to this, but lock growth kind of comes in stages. I would say when I first started locking my hair, it wasn't growing that quickly. And then I'd say around month 3 to like 6, there was kind of a bit of like pretty quick growth. I was like, oh, we growing out here. And then it kind of slowed down again for like the next 4 or 5 months. And I was kind of like, what's happening? Which I think is kind of what got me starting to do more crochet hooking or looking into like how I can grow my locks faster and things like that. The last, I'd say 3-4 months, my locks have been growing pretty quickly. And I find that when I go back to do my retwists, there's a lot more new growth at the bottom of my lock to lock up, which has been nice. So the point I'm trying to make is your hair is gonna grow differently, right? Your hair is gonna grow fast and then it's gonna kind of slow down, then it's gonna go fast and slow down. And I think everyone's hair is a little bit different in this way, but there are gonna be trends to how fast or how slow your hair grows, and that's gonna change. So if your hair is growing fast today, don't be like, yep, this is it, my hair grows fast, I have fast growing hair and that's it, because it might slow down. And I found that when my hair was slowing down its growth, I was like, well, what am I doing wrong? Or maybe there's something that I could do or eat to help the lock growth. Maybe I should stay away from sugar completely. Like, I was just kind of figuring out what was wrong with me and what could I do to make it better. And the truth is, that's just how hair is gonna grow. And that's something I've learned at this stage, and my locticians taught me that, look, your hair is gonna grow fast sometimes, slow sometimes, it just is what it is. And it goes back to my main point. Just let your hair do what it's gonna do and just relax, okay? Give your hair what it needs and get out of the way. That's pretty much the basis of the mental and emotional stuff at this point. Do what your hair needs, get out of the way. So that's pretty much the basis of things that I'm going through at this stage, really. And I guess the last little tidbit would be that I've been enjoying lock styles. 2 years in the game, I've just started doing lock styles, hence why this video took so long to come, because I wanted to show you the length of my hair, but I kept putting it in 2-strand twists and barrel rolls, and you can't see the length of my hair in those styles. That being said, being able to do lock styles is fun. It's a new milestone. As a lot of you know, if you started your lock journey, you know, the milestones are like the pineapple hairstyle, barrel twist, 2-strand twist. To be able to do these lock styles and it not look like you have like a tiny little ponytail, you know what I mean? Like, to actually have your hair in a ponytail and it's like, that's a ponytail. It's a good feeling. So I've been messing around with that a little bit, and you know, I've been learning even with that, like, don't do that too much. So I guess the overall encompassing message I would say would be again, do what your hair needs, get out of the way, don't worry about things you can't control. And at a longer stage, when your hair's a little bit longer, you can mess around with new lock styles. So the journey kind of keeps unfolding and new things keep happening. You realize new things. And at this stage so far, 2 years in the game, I feel like I'm not at a stage yet where like I know everything, I've experienced everything. It's still constantly unfolding to new realizations and still teaching me different things and different aspects of not only this locking journey, but things that I can apply to life, right? Yeah, I would say that's kind of my overall update as far as my 2-year mark goes, and that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm still loving the journey. It's much less stressful than it was in the beginning, to be honest. Mind you, that's just for me, someone who's maybe a little too meticulous at times. But I hope this was helpful. And if it was, let me know. That would be great. I love your feedback. I love your input. If there's any questions that you might have, please feel free to let me know. I know when I started my journey, I had tons of questions, and I reached out to a lot of people that had locks. I reached out to a lot of lockers on YouTube and things like that just to get a little bit more information from their own experiences. So please, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Send me a comment, ask me a question, whatever the case may be. And if there's anything you want me to touch on for my next lock update video, maybe that I'm not touching on in my lock update videos, just let me know, all right? Definitely like and subscribe. It really helps your boy out, and I appreciate that. And share with a friend. If you find this helpful, maybe someone else will find it helpful. So, yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, y'all. 2 years in the game. I'm feeling it. It's getting along. Just so you guys know too, I always told myself I'm doing at least 5 years of this locking journey, and then we'll see what happens from there. If I keep it going, I'll keep it going. But if not, so be it. All right? Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys on the next one. For me here at the Kojo Locs channel, I am Kojo Locs, and I'm signing out. Peace and love, y'all.